Thank you so much for inviting us. I don't ever go anywhere by myself. I really tried to get Johnny to take over and do this speech today, and his eyes got this big. He's like, "What? You gave me 24-hour notice." And I said, "Okay, I'll do most of it, and you can help a little bit." I do want to let you know who I brought with me here today. We have an amazing staff at the Y. Jonathan behind me is our marketing communications director, and so he's going to help a little bit later. Johnny Taylor, he's the newbie, so take it easy on him. Right, he doesn't know what he's getting into with our line of work, but we do laugh a lot, don't we? And January, not February or March, but January. And so thank you, Mr. Marsh, for letting us come again today. So I'm kind of going to, I move around a little bit, so let me know if that's a problem. I kind of walk through the crowd a little bit. But I just wanted to tell you guys a quick little story before I tell you about what our Y does. And it kind of sets the stage for why I chose to spend 30 years with this organization. And that's really because of a girl named Sherry Lee. And she's from a small town, lived in a very challenging family. Her parents were alcoholics, her dad was a veteran. There was a lot of physical, mental, and financial abuse. They moved around a lot. She didn't have good clothes to wear. Her parents forced her to wear a dress, but made her wear pants under it. So you just picture this child, because we have a lot of them here, a lot of them in our community here. And she had a lot of brothers and sisters, but she went through year after year after year, moving, never lived in the same house for more than a year. Parents were alcoholics, never had anything. If they got anything, it was because they were adopted off of a Christmas tree, angel tree. You know the ones I'm talking about. Churches adopt families, organizations. And so one of her favorite gifts of all time was a jewelry box where you wind up the back of it, and then when you open the lid, the little ballerina pops up and spins around. She still has that to this day, and she's 74 years old. Can you believe that? Because it meant so much to her. They never got Christmas. They never got birthday. They never got anything. So when she was getting ready to graduate from high school, she met a fella, and she thought, oh, here's my way out of this life, because it's challenging. You don't dream big. You don't think you're ever going to make anything of yourselves, because you just don't ever see yourself going to college, because you've grown up in this multi-generational embedded poverty that we have here everywhere in all the counties that we serve. So she met this fella, and they got married, and it didn't take her long to realize, oh boy, I jumped from the frying pan into the fire. Things got worse, way worse. Physically abusive, mentally abusive. Again, wasted any money they had on alcohol and anything else. But she did have 2 children, a boy and a girl, and he had her husband, a very large family. He was one of 13 children, and she loved his family, and they were great, and every time the doors of the church were open, his whole family and her kids were there. He was never around. He was always on the road somewhere. He was a truck driver. And if he was home, he was sleeping off whatever he drank the day before. But she raised those kids in church the best that she could, until one day, after about 17 years, she just couldn't take anymore. She's like, I lived 17 years like this, and here it's been 17 years, and my kids are living in this. It's time to break the cycle. So interestingly enough, she went to the Y. She went to the Y in that local small town, and she confided in that CEO. Now, the reason she went to that Y was because over the years of raising these kids, they went there for activities, fun activities, badminton in the lobby, swim lessons, every level there is. Way back then, you got a patch on your swim shorts for every level of swim session you went through. You had to get a brick off the bottom of the pool. I mean, just crazy stuff. I don't think they do that. I don't know if they do that today, because the wonderful city of Kingsport runs the aquatic center here, so we don't do that. But she got to know him. That's kind of the point. The Y is a very relational place. So the CEO took an interest in her. He kind of knew her story a little bit. She knew the kids needed help. They had financial assistance to be able to come there. And so she confided in him one day that she needed to escape. Like, I've got to escape this. I don't want this for my kids. Something's got to change. And he helped her. He knew a lot of people, as we do, at the Y, we know lots of people, as you do, that can help others, financially, who have real estate. And he was able to help her get into subsidized housing because she had to have a job, she had to have a place to live, she had to make a plan to take care of herself with these kids and be away from all this torment, emotional drama, financial insecurity. So she found an apartment with the help of this CEO in a subsidized housing community, which happened to be right around the corner from the Y. And in the proper day and in the proper time, she told her children it's time to escape. They knew how bad it was. The abuse was so bad that the kids would go hide in the woods out on the farm so that they wouldn't get hit or hurt. So they were excited about it for a couple of reasons. One, the abuse, but two, they lived kind of in a very, very rural area, so far away that it was a day trip to town. Not that it was a day trip, on horseback, but, during those times when you live in a rural community, it's a planned activity. It takes almost an hour to get into town and then for wherever you go. So the kids are like, oh, we're going to live in the metropolis, into town, right? Around the corner from the Y. What a wonderful thing. So they did. And the kids started going to the Y, almost, finished growing up there. They were close to their teenage years when they moved and made a lot of good friends. And the story, it does get better for Sherry Lee and for her family. She got a great job. She worked a lot to take care of things. But the kids got out of that, she got out of that, and they started to build a new life for themselves. In fact, her oldest child was the first in both sides of the family to ever go to college. So she gets some assistance, financial assistance, is going away to college, coming home on the weekends, working part-time at the Y, serving, checking in with the CEO, and that particular Y had a library, so studying and things like that. And then one day she's getting ready to graduate college, and it's like, I can't believe I've made it all this time. My daughter got to college, my son's going into the Air Force, and wow, we did it, we made it. And so her daughter's in the Y talking to the CEO, and he's asking her what in the world she's going to do. You've gotten out of this situations that we help at the Y families with every day, in Section 8 housing, after-school care, or just walking the halls and talking to families. The CEO says, oh, so what did you study, and what are you going to do now? His name was John Sturgeon. And I looked at John Sturgeon, and I said, I really have no idea. I just wanted to get to college. I never thought, the life my mom led and the life I grew up in, that I would ever have an opportunity to go to college. So I've gotten there, I finally graduated, and he said, you have spent so much time at this YMCA, we're going to build you a career in this organization. And he made good on that. And I stayed in touch with him for 30 years now that I have worked at the Y. And for 30 years, it's why my staff sometimes think I have a money tree, because I am not afraid to ask anything of anybody if it gets our kids and our families what they need to get out of a bad situation of multi-generational embedded poverty. Because that was me. Sherry Lee was my mom. And to this day, at 74 years old, wonderful, wonderful woman, we talk about John Sturgeon and what we went through. And then she compares, every time I'm having a bad day, she compares it, to the things that we went through. And she's like, that doesn't define who you are. And it doesn't have to. You just bring hope and you teach people the right way, and God will provide. And so we try to do that at the Y every day. And Jonathan's got some slides for you to kind of tell you a little bit about what we do. I just told you why I do it. I do it because I was that kid. I was that kid that we see every single day in our Y and Wheels program that have no hope. They don't dream, they don't think there's a way to go to college, they don't think they're ever going to have a job that pays them anything where they can have any kind of independence. But I know they can. And if we hire the right staff and give them the tools and the resources and expose them the right way, they will love those kids too. Because the YMCA has stands for and always has to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build healthy spirit, mind, and body for all. And on your tables, you actually have a copy of our strategic plan. Now that's a summary, because strategic plans are long. Sometimes there's lots of papers and thick binders, but we've given you a summary on your table that has our mission in it and our focus. We have 3 goals and 3 goals only. The number 1 goal is to increase accessibility of all services that meet needs in the community to all who need it. And that means a lot of what we do is free. A lot of what we do is free. Our second goal is all around healthy living and chronic disease and offering programs and services that support well-being of health to all individuals. And the third one is all around equity and social responsibility, to give back where we're able to and to teach others what giving back means as well. So here's the list of our case for support. Every one of these things operates on contributions, state and government grants. Our YMCA feeding program is a USDA program, and that's how it's funded. We have 2 certifications that come from the USD that allow us to feed 500 kids dinner every single day, Monday through Friday. We have a commercial kitchen in our Kingsport location. We have a brand new commercial kitchen in our new Rogersville Youth Center. They'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. And then we have a new project on the horizon for next year that will have a 3rd kitchen in it. So we'll be feeding about 1,000 kids dinner every day, Monday through Friday, before it's too long. It's about 500 right now. If you'll go through, I can't remember. So just a few pictures. Wait, don't go too fast. Just a few pictures of our food truck. You might see it driving around town, our box truck. Okay. And how we came up with it, we did not do this work before the pandemic. We just, the local DHS representative who licensed all of our care programs said, gosh, we really have a need for you all to do child care ages 3 and 4, which most of ours was school age. So during the shutdown, we converted our entire facility. Have you all been to our facility? Beautiful, beautiful facility over at Meadowview. It's just a venue for offices for the most part. All of this work I'm going to tell you about is out of that building, all through Hawkins County, Sullivan County, and Kingsport City area. But a lot of what we do today is because of the pandemic. We really saw needs in our community that were exacerbated by unemployment and health challenges. And so we launched all these initiatives to make those things happen. So it's just a little bit about our feeding program. Right now we're in about 19 sites. 400 meals daily average. The most we've capped out on any given day is about 500. And we take volunteers because all 3 of our kitchens run on volunteers. We have 1 paid staff person and 1 driver in each of those kitchens, and that's it. So I encourage you and your club members to adopt a day and come prep and package food in our kitchen. That's how it works. Some more pictures. HMG is one of our great sponsors. They do support our work, and that's them working in the kitchen there that you see. And then Y on Wheels. You guys have heard me talk a little bit when I was telling you a story about my mother, Sherry Lee. Y on Wheels is a mentoring program that one of our very innovative staff, by the way, the Y is a very innovative organization. Do you all know what the Y invented? Very big, very popular thing. No? James Naismith, ring a bell? Basketball. Yeah. James Naismith was YMCA program director, very innovative, created and developed this sport we call today basketball. Well, just like James Naismith, we have program directors that are very creative and very innovative, and one of them put together this program called Y on Wheels, where we put everything needed for a YMCA activity, mentoring, love, and support in a vehicle that has a brand wrapped around it, and we take it into Section 8 housing communities, like the old Cloud, Reedy Point. Everything's changing names. Terry Cunningham changed the name of all those communities when he renovated them, and I have a hard time keeping them straight. But we go into those communities every single day, and when the kids get off the bus, we are there, and we feed them, and we do homework with them, we do life skills, we teach them about what it is to be a good friend. what good friends are, if they're treating you this way. So life skills. And this program right now, and you can see the statistics on the screen as I talk, but this program right now is funded by the Tennessee Assistance for Needy Families, which is federal funding passed through to the state, and the state administers it out to us. We got a $500,000 grant in the beginning of COVID around March of 2020. Tell me if I'm running out of time, Ken. March of 2020, we got a $500,000 grant to implement this program deeper and more thorough. So we do parent workshops, helping the parents to understand what they need to be doing with those kids to get them out of the situation that they're in. We do family meals, grocery meals. We feed the kids every day, and we just got that renewed. That was a 2-year grant that we got renewed for over $1 million. So we'll be able to continue that program and deepen the breadth of that for a long time. Now, the point of that is not to give out lots of free things every day, all the time. The point is to try to help them get out of their situation, to grow family skills, parenting skills, so that the parents can do better and that the kids know they can dream and do better and get out of that situation. So y'all pray for us on that one. We'll see how far we get on that. And here's some pictures of our activities and our vehicles. And one of our big sponsors in that program is Eastman Credit Union. So the vehicle, they actually gave us the vehicle. They had it in their stock. I don't know if they repossessed it or what, but we were the benefit, so we branded it. So this is our newest program, and we're super excited. 2 weeks ago? Was it 2 weeks ago? So it's only been 2 weeks now that we cut the ribbon with the Chamber of Commerce in Rogersville and Hawkins County, and we've opened a new center. So this center is in Rogersville. It's in the heart of Rogersville, downtown, right around the corner from the Food City and just down the street from downtown and the Chamber of Commerce. And in that center, we have a commercial kitchen, and it will house after-school care and mentoring for middle school. It will be a training center for all of our parents of Hawkins County, because we now have 10 programs in Hawkins County at the different schools, after school mentoring, parent engagement, involvement. So it'll be middle school, after school there in that building. It'll be our commercial kitchen where we package the food and prep it and deliver it to all those sites for dinner. And then because we have 10 sites in Hawkins County, we needed administrative offices over there. It makes no sense for the staff that live in Rogersville to commute back this way all the time. So we're super excited to have that open, and we have a new center director who was a middle school teacher and has traveled all around. She's from Hawkins County. She's lived in Atlanta, Georgia. She's lived in Charlotte, and we're lucky to have her back home in Hawkins running that center. So you can see a couple pictures of us with our grand opening and I really like that kitchen. Wouldn't you like to have a kitchen like that in your house? We do all kinds of great things. This Y actually started as after school. We didn't start as a building where you go work out or you swim, not like the Y I grew up in. But in 1983, there was a vision in this community to add additional after-school mentoring programs, quality, affordable programming. And so that's how this Y got started. Way back in 1983, and the office was in a little white house close to downtown. I've never been in it, so I'm not even sure if it's still there. Some of you that have been around for a while might remember the Y being in a house near town for their offices. But we work in 4 school systems, and we are blessed to do so. Hawkins County Schools, Sullivan County School 3, and Kingsport City Schools. And our programs are all in their schools. We've grown tremendously. This says we're in 18 sites, but by the end of this year, because we just got another 21st Century Learning Grant from the federal government, we'll be in 25 sites and have 1,100 kids in our care. The largest new site will be the Holston Elementary School out by the airport. It's one of the biggest elementary schools in this area, so that'll be our new one, and it'll increase our numbers. But it's after-school enrichment. It's not play dates, it's not video games, and it's not movies, because we really don't use a lot of technology. It's books, it's life skills, enrichment, lots of STEM activities, and feeding. We feed every kid in our care dinner every single day. So just a little bit of pictures from our babies. And then I think I have 2 more things maybe to talk about. One is active and ageless. So again, fortunate enough in our funding that the City of Kingsport last year through the CDBG block grant awarded us a little bit of money to jumpstart this initiative called Active and Ageless. And we work with older adults who are retirement age, a lot of them 65 and older and have a Medicare Advantage plan. And with those Medicare Advantage plans, there's 3 different options. If you have that supplement, Medicare Advantage, then that insurance pays for your Y membership. And you can come to the Y for free every day, spend the day, and the insurance company pays us for you to be there. Well, when that started, we started seeing this influx of folks that had an incredible amount of talent, skills, and knowledge. And it's like, oh, wait, we can learn from these folks. And we started doing that and started forming activities and field trips, learned that there were a lot of folks living, older adults living in situations where they couldn't get to the Y. So we go out to the senior living communities and teach them about healthy eating activities. We just really put together whatever it is this group wants to do. And we have a fabulous individual in Gary who leads all their activities. You can see here some field trip pictures, picnics. I think they're making a craft painting, January paints with some of our folks. And then they're playing pickleball. And I think the last thing on here is our Parkinson's programming. Keep in mind that none of these programs we charge anything for. They are all 100% free. And we do that with contributions, partnerships, and support. Clubs like yours who sponsor activities, and state and federal dollars, and just local individuals who have come through the programs or have a story to tell where the Y was instrumental in helping them be their best self. But if you're not aware, Parkinson's is kind of on the rise, being diagnosed more and more every single year. So you do not have to be a member of the Y, but we do offer for anyone with Parkinson's, being diagnosed with Parkinson's in those stages, free classes, cycle classes, support group, conversation, mental stimulation, and we just getting ready to start boxing, Rock Steady, which is a Parkinson's program that's endorsed by the foundation, along with aquatic therapy. So you can kind of see some photos here of us getting credentialed and some funding to do these things. Oh yeah, and we have a building over there too. So that just tells you a little bit about the building. It is a beautiful building. Incredibly innovative partnership with the City of Kingsport, who runs the Aquatic Center. So 2 completely different businesses that are co-located in one building under one roof and on one campus, and we do a lot of things together. So if you happen to come, join the YMCA for any of these programs, to use any of these facilities, you're also have access to all of the Aquatic Center as well. So incredible, very innovative. I've worked for the Y for 30 years and never seen a partnership quite like this. So we're very proud of all of that. So thanks, Jonathan. Wow, now I did a whole lot of talking, and I'm going to give you time. Yes?
I have a question. It says
Okay, I know. I'm getting there. I've done a whole lot of talking and moving around, sorry. But usually I go through the crowd, so you're lucky I stayed up here this time. But before I open the floor for questions, our staff have some questions they want to ask you. And if you get it right, we have prizes. So what's the first question?
All right. First question.